Hello, this is Nigel at Spiritual Awareness New Zealand on Friday the 16th of February at 11:29. Ungodly bloody hour, but anyway, here we go. I want to do an update on Cyclone Gita, my own update on it, and here is the says the latest up-to-date path shows Gita will come right into Wellington on Monday night. Okay, so at the moment it's actually moving toward New Caledonia, and so they're putting warnings out and so forth, and it's apparently, as it says here, it's still a Category 3 cyclone or storm. Now it could, my guesses on this is kind of interesting, because the way it's looking, I think the intention is that they're going to build this thing up again and actually make it bigger, and it's going to hit New Zealand with a full force. And I don't know, I'm just looking at this and kind of going that this could easily be what they're going to do, and slam New Zealand with a Category 5 cyclone into Wellington, because this is where they're predicting it will go. Now that is really interesting to me, because earlier this week I saw, and I talked about it I think in my last video, that I saw a lot of EMF in the lower North Island, and not only that, in Central Hawke's Bay I was actually right at the epicenter of a 4.2 earthquake at, I think it was 30k deep, and which shook the house in one jolt. It really shook it. It didn't last for a long time, it wasn't any big deal, there wasn't any damage or anything like that, fortunately, but it wasn't my house either. And it was a localized thing, but that I'm sure was EMF caused, electromagnetic frequencies being played over this area to actually pull this down this way. Now, for those of you who this is new to, all I can say is start researching weather modification, start researching geoengineering, and you'll start to find out a lot more that this isn't some conspiracy theory, but it's actual fact. So not only that, I observed on the radar that there were indications of electromagnetic frequencies, EMF, over this lower North Island, and that was on the visual images radar, which is a series of satellite photos over the area, and it shows clouds with ripples in that area, all of lower North Island. And I'll show you this visual images one for just for as of current, present time tonight as well. I'll show you that in a minute. But also in Palmerston North there was, and also in Wanganui, there were people who posted photos of roll clouds, like line after line of clouds that were kind of basically like rolls coming across, and that also is indications of electromagnetic frequencies being done over this area. Okay, so there's like 1, 2, 3, earthquake, the visual images on the radar, the roll clouds. That's 3 different sources of indications of EMF in this area. So, which I think is real interesting when you see that this is exactly the path that this cyclone is on. Okay, now let's have a look Oh, I can close this one now. This is the information about New Caledonia and so forth. And yeah, they actually reference this, which is another Met Service severe weather outlook, right? Cyclone Gita is expected to approach New Zealand from northwest early next week. There remains uncertainty with regards to the speed and track of Gita, but the passage of the system across New Zealand on Tuesday and Wednesday is likely to bring a period of highly impactful severe weather. There is high confidence of severe gales. I love it when they put confidence, you know. Anyway, there is high confidence of severe gales and heavy rain spreading across central and northern New Zealand on Tuesday and Wednesday. So they reckon it's going to hit on Monday night, and then there's going to be this is going to be what plays out Tuesday and Wednesday. In addition, winds associated with Gita are likely to cause large waves to affect some coastal places. So Palmerston North, definitely. Wanganui, also definitely. You really need to be, if you're in a flood area or anything like that, honestly, do something. Start preparing now. You know, even get out for a couple of days if you can. But definitely prepare your house for it, because this thing's coming. And if it doesn't, you know, at least you've been prepared. But this is not a joke here. This is actually, and this is absolutely not scaremongering. This is what they are telling us is going to happen. So likely to cause large waves to affect some coastal places, and the expected storm surge allow run-up of waves in some low-lying coastal places, particularly at high tide. Okay, and then there's this map, and it says high confidence, confidence high. And it says heavy rain, severe gales, Tuesday to Wednesday, right? Yeah, and I read all that backwards. Yeah, okay, good. All right. Now, and this encompasses this whole area, right? Okay. Now, this is real interesting to me, because it comes right down here. And if we look at the current thing here, right? I'll just take you through. And now, there was quite a bit of EMF even down in the bottom of the South Island, which I'll show you. But if you look at it, and we'll go to 11 o'clock, because that's the bit that I'm most interested in showing you. But you can see this. There's a lot of stuff going on around this area right here. Now, see that big square there, right? That is very, very square. Right? Now, some people may not think so, but I assure you, for visual images, this is satellite photos of cloud, and these are rather straight kind of lines, right? And now you've got also here, you've got this little, oh God, what do you call that bloody thing? Rectangular waves? Forget what the bloody thing's. Anyway, there. See, we've got it there. Right. So these are wavelengths they use. If anyone's ever seen an oscilloscope, all of these waves are reproducible on an oscilloscope. Now, here we are, 10 o'clock, and see that's still over that same area. And notice it's very bright around that area, and then nothing over here. This is 10 a.m. in the morning, right? Now we go to 11 a.m. and it's still over there, and we've got this kind of like this real scattered kind of cloud all around this area. Now that, if you look at that, and then we go back to this, right, we see that actually line there is right about here, right? Have a look at that again. See, it's, you know, more or less, this line is right about there, and that's where this is, right? Okay, so you can see all this line stuff here now. Now, oh, here's another piece, right? Here's another bit to look at. Okay, now look at this line here, right? It's coming in this direction now, right? And then we see it spread over this direction, and it almost looks like something projecting out from here. So I would say that this is actually a wave that's being pushed from a particular location here, some antenna in the area right there. And now, you know, there are definitely in these areas there are antennas, so there would be something there. Now, how this works is that the technology exists where they can bounce, using antennas, they can bounce a signal to that antenna and then bounce it off there and send it somewhere else. And you know, this is the kind of technology they have. So really, really interesting. Now, as you see, you can't see anything at night time, and as far as I have seen and believe, quite a bit of this EMF goes on at dark because they know nobody's going to be able to see it. So you know, there we go. Now, as I say, there is some, even right down here, you can see these ripple clouds, all this ripples, like there. Right? So that's the kind of stuff I saw over Lower North Island earlier in the week, and you know, you can see it here. You know, you can see it here, these ripples. So apparently this is the thing. They actually want to bring it down, and using EMF they can actually do that. Now let's go back to here. So this is so Wellington is basically the target. If you look at this, it's the target. So firstly they bring it over to New Caledonia, give New Caledonia a bit of a scare, and then they're going to wham it in here. And if you look at the size of this, it's actually getting bigger here, right? This is their prediction, right? But to me, it looks like it's moving back up to a full Category 5, and they're going to actually hit us with this thing. Now, why? You know, hey, we can search around for motivations, but there's plenty of reasons why they want to do that. And they have their reasons, and I'm not even going to bother going into that right now, but Wellington is the seat of power for New Zealand. Jacinda is probably, you know, not the most popular. She's anti-Trump, or, you know, so it goes. Honestly, I've been so busy lately in trying to keep up with all of this stuff. You know, there's a lot of information to get through. But I'm just pointing you in the general direction of what's happening and where it's going to happen, and showing you what I can of the evidences to back up what I'm saying, right? I'm not trying to prove anything here or anything like that. I'm just, you know, getting you to have a look at this stuff. Now let's have a look. I'll just swap this over, and you can have a look at where Cyclone Gita is at the moment. And here it is here, right? And then we'll wrap it up, and you can see this thing's a good size, and it's got a real good eye on it. So this is a bona fide cyclone, or hurricane as they call it in the northern hemisphere. Okay, so you can see it whizzing around there. Now, okay, look, you know, hell, there's just so much I can show you tonight, because you see this front of cloud coming over here, right? And for some reason, you know, and again, I'm just pointing this stuff out, but there is some intention to keep New Zealand in the cloud. And if you look here, you will see where there is these clouds are being ionized here. How they do that with nano water particles. They drop, they're positively charged, and what it does is it increases the temperature and the wind speed in the area where it's dropped. So you can see here, this starts at that point, right? It starts as a pinprick here, right, which is actually kind of big pinprick when you look at the size we're talking about. But look how it jets out from that one source, right? So it's actually emanating from here, right? And then it's developing as cloud, and there's a bit more over this area, by the way, that they've actually done. And this area all up here is all military. They've just spent over $2 billion in a joint Australian and Singapore project on boosting the military in this whole area, Rockhampton and Gladstone. Okay, so I'm just, as I say, just telling you this stuff. So anyway, so as this cyclone is coming over to New Caledonia, which is here, and it's already impacting there right now, right as I speak. This is at 8 p.m. here, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. So it's the outer sides of that are actually heading into New Caledonia right now, and as that's happening, we've got this system coming down here with cloud to cover what seems to be mainly the south of the South Island. Yeah. Now, as I say, I don't know why that is, but this is what's happening. But what I'm saying with this is that all of this weather we're getting right at this moment is man-made. It's all being caused, right? This hurricane is being moved around, and the technology for that exists and is being used, right? Now, you know, I don't care. I don't give a damn if somebody thinks I'm a conspiracy theorist or fearmonger or whatever they want to call me, you know, and I get called all of that, you know, a lot of the time from a lot of people. And of course, you know, the people who are saying that are just in fear themselves. They just don't want to believe what's going on, and they don't want to look at what's happening. But this is what's happening. Okay, so we've got this being generated here to bring cloud down here. We've got this which is going to come down here and swing around, and they've already got it all figured out as where it's going, the path. You know, don't think that they don't know how this all works. You know, I guess, you know, there may be some people, you know, quite a lot of people in Met Service who are ignorant of geoengineering and weather modification, that it's actually done, but they at least know the path it's going to take, and even, you know, how big an area it's actually going to affect, and their confidence that this is going to happen is high. So wrapping this up, you know, seriously, you want to take some steps to protect your property, you know, whatever you can, you know, and think it out. I am guessing that this could, as I say, could actually hit hard. Now, anything could happen between now and then, but, you know, Monday night and Tuesday and Wednesday. But the way it's looking at the moment, that's what they are predicting, is that it's going to hit hard. And and from all the evidences I've seen, it's actually intentional. So there you go. I hope those of you who can make it to the Rotorua meeting, and I will try to keep the page updated as much as possible. Apart from that, stay safe, and we'll leave it here till next time. Okay, this is Nigel at Spiritual Awareness New Zealand, and check me out.